I have generated multiple seven figures. I think a lot of people, they cannot deal with the stress of mid and high risk investments. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys had a great weekend. I had a pretty good one. Hung out with my little boy quite a bit yesterday. His favorite thing in the world is riding on the motorcycle, or the lawnmower. So we did that most of the day. Everybody hear me okay? What's up, Richmond? It's nice to meet you, sir. Bobby, Luke, Christopher, how we doing? I'm gonna go over a couple different things on the investment side that I think are important and relevant that I think you guys need to know. We're gonna talk about low, mid, and high, how I think of this, how I operate in this space, how I have generated multiple seven figures, how I've lost money, what good decisions I've made, and what bad decisions I've made. So we've got a lot to cover. What's up, Luke, Hans, Kurt? We got all the good people in here. So I want to talk about low, mid, and high risk investments. So guys, I would say that on the low end, stuff like real estate, notes, probably oil and gas, PML, private money lending. These are all very low risk investments. I would say this is the bread and butter for most investors. I would not put stocks over here. I'd put stocks probably on this side, bonds, etc. Bonds potentially over here. High risk is more of the alternative stuff. Not all of it, but a lot of it is the alternative stuff. So up until recently, I was 100% over here on the low end. And there's nothing wrong with this. I think a lot of people, they cannot deal with the stress of mid and high risk investments. So what they do is they play over here for most of their life. Again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. In fact, I think that most people should play in this field predominantly. This is going to be a little bit slower. It's going to take a little bit more investment. You think about real estate, you think about notes. You can buy a note from 20,000 and up. Oil and gas is a pretty hefty gig. Private money lending, if you're going to be lending somebody, typically you need a decent amount of money to be able to do that. Most people aren't looking for $1,000. They're looking for 50,000, 100,000, 200, 500, $1 million. But most people play over here. What I have learned and what I started doing about a year and a half ago was I started kind of looking more over to the mid and the high side. And what I was doing on my end was more of like my discretionary income. I would put it over here. So there's a flow that goes to investing how I've been doing things that has made a lot of sense for me. So what I do is I invest a little bit over here, not everything. You don't want to risk the house. I roll it into the low stuff. I'll give you guys an example. I have projects right now where I'm making 2% a day, not a month, not a year, a day. And I roll that into lower risk investments. On the mid side, I've got some stuff that's more like 3%, 5%, 7%, and 9% a month. That again, I take when I get paid out, I take this income and I roll it back in. I want to explain why, because I think this is really important that you guys understand why. Again, most people should probably play over here. The reason why I've done some stuff over here recently, and the reason why I've kind of shifted the weight of my portfolio a little bit, so I'm more like, I don't know, I'd say maybe like 60%, 20%, 20%. But the reason why I've done this is in a month, I can cover on this side what would take me several years on this side. I'm adding speed. For me to accomplish what I want to accomplish, which is generational wealth, for me, I needed some speed in my portfolio. So I can jump over here and generate a quick 25K, roll that over here, do it again, put it over here on this mid side. There's nothing wrong with only being low. There's nothing wrong with being low end mid. You've got to determine, this is the entire point of the business hub, is determining what's the best fit for you. What is in alignment with what you want to accomplish? What is in alignment with your goals? What's in alignment with your time frame? If I only wanted to generate several $100,000 in my lifetime and eventually get out of quote unquote the rat race, I would probably play 100% over here. On the generational wealth side, it had to be a little bit more blended for me. I had to be a little bit more blended. This is going to require a lot of education. This required some risk tolerance. I've lost money over here. Don't think I haven't. But guys, putting $1,000, turning it into 5, there's a lot of different options for a lot of different types of people. We've got to look at this as a whole. We've got to look at this as, where am I at? Where am I trying to go? And what time frame? How much money am I starting with? And what makes the most sense for me? Not everybody is going to play here, at least not all of the time. You might be 99% here and 1% mid or high. You might be 95 and 5 or 60, 20, 20. You've got to find the mix sense for you. I don't think, at least this is my opinion, I don't think there's a lot of speed here. You guys agree with that? But for some people, speed isn't important. For some people, that's not even relevant to them. They say, dude, I've got a 20-year plan. Do this. A 20-year plan is, in 20 years, I want to get to 200K, 500K, or maybe even $1 million. There's nothing wrong with that that plan. My goals is going to be a little bit more blended. What I'm trying to accomplish, what I'm trying to build. Does that make sense? He's with me? Got another Houston in the house. Vivian, make sure you connect with Richmond Webb over in Spring, Texas. What questions do you guys have? From a flow perspective, what I do is when I have money come in, I'm rolling percentages. Talked about having a plan with our money last week. We talked about if we don't have a plan, that everything just gets wasted and everything just gets ruined. So I have these percentages that I'm rolling into different types of projects and into different types of investments. And when I do this, it makes this a no-brainer. It takes all of the guesswork out. And then I have the same with reverse. Profits coming in, I do the exact same with reverse. I then take that profit and roll it back into low and a little bit back into mid-risk. But because I have this documented and because I have a plan with the money, it takes all of the guesswork out. $10,000 comes in, I know exactly where it's going. $10,000 comes in on this side, I know exactly where it's going. Clear as mud, got it? Point of the KNGDM Center, I'm not talking about the real estate side, I'm talking about the KNGDM Center, the business hub. What you guys are watching live in right now is to help you guys determine this, and to help you determine what's the best fit for you. Idle money disappears. Amen. When I have idle money, I just spend it. I buy hot rods and motorcycles and expensive fedoras and leather jackets and stupid stuff. Spend way too much money on my kid. Just idle money. How many of you, just be honest with me, how many of you guys have a very clear plan for when money comes in, how you invest it, how you split it, and then with the profit, how you split it and how you kind of break it off? How many of you guys have that right now? So if not, we'll continue to work on it. We'll continue to talk about it. If everybody's good, I'm gonna stop talking about this in the morning. Vivian needs it. Perfect. I see you guys watching. See you guys. And who else needs it? Still working on clarity. Perfect. Always need more, need it. Only plan I have is listening to you. That's not a bad plan. Not a bad plan at all. Not a bad plan. Clarity eliminates guesswork. Clarity eliminates idle money. And guys, this is like people view this as like set in stone, can never adjust it. I'm constantly adjusting this. I'm constantly reevaluating low and mid and high. On the high, I change out projects intermittently as I need to. I'm in 2 newer ones that I've gotten into in like the past 20 days. You know, there's some mid ones that I haven't been happy with, and I shuffle the deck a little bit. There's been some ones on the low end that, you know what, I didn't see the value in keeping them. So I transitioned them, or I sold them, or I moved out of them and put money over here. Like, this isn't set in stone. This is meant to be somewhat fluid, but the plan still has to change. Here's the other thing that I want you guys to be very, very, very crystal clear on. Every single one of you guys should have a goal. You've got to have a goal. You have to have an exit plan. You have to have a stopping point. It might be X amount of dollars. It might be X amount of passive income. You have to have some sort of a goal. As you get closer to this goal, so as we are doing this, as we get closer to the goal, the risk has to go like this. As we get closer to our goal, the risk has to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. It goes like this. You don't want to be here playing in this high risk. Probably don't even want to be playing in this mid risk. If you're here, do it. Sure, why not? But as this goal starts to become closer and closer, that risk has to go down. Absolutely has to go down. And this is where people make stupid mistakes is, dude, you were within $50,000 of your goal. You basically went to Vegas. I don't understand why you would do that. They do a high risk flip, or they do, all of a sudden I'm buying a restaurant. Have you ever been in the restaurant industry? Well, no, but like I'm super passionate about it all of a sudden. You were so close to your goal. What you were doing was working. Why would we ever do that? Make sense? Closer, less. Closer, less. This is why when I generate income on the high risk side, I always move it to low risk. Maybe a little bit to mid risk, but I'm always moving my risk backwards. I do take 10% of rev and put it away. I would challenge you on putting it away where and doing what with it. I don't have a savings account. I have investment accounts. I have investment accounts that are based on different options, different risk profiles. Vila, there we go. Smart man. Then pretty soon you'll be able to take that money and lend it back to yourself and start to invest in different projects. Guys, if you didn't see, while we're speaking about that, if you guys did not see the announcement this morning, I think we have 7 more discounted Havila tickets. Dave Miller just messaged me. I'll take a look. I'm talking to Richie Parks about it. Thanks, Richie. So maybe we'll have 6 here in a second. But I opened up 10 opportunities to get in on the precious metals banking at a discounted rate. If you guys are interested in that, just shoot me a message. I'll send you some more information. What's up, man? What's going on? Guys, what other questions do we have? None of these calls in the morning are super long. I just wanted to talk about low, mid, and high. The reason why I do high high. We'll throw $1,000 over here as I can normally out generate my low and generate on the high side what I would on the low side in a year. Normally do this in a month. That's why I'm doing that. Make sense? Mid is gonna outperform low. Havila's awesome. Just started my accumulation for it on the last. I love it. Smart man, buy when things are on sale for sure. Guess what other questions do we have? Morning Dante and Bruce and Linnell, Ron and Fred and Lines, Trevor and Mark, Christina, Jeremiah, Paul, Hutchinson. What's up, man? I missed you a month ago, man. Missed you at the event. Any other questions? Investing in low, mid, high. Money comes in, knowing where to put it, knowing what gets you closer to your goal, knowing what's the best fit for you based on what you want to accomplish and the timeline you want to accomplish. So there's this formula. While you guys are coming up with a couple questions, there's a formula. So it goes something like this. What do you want? In what time frame? And what capital do you have that you could use to get there? This is very specific to an investment, to an investor. That's why I say capital. If you don't have any capital, this doesn't work. Just being stupid honest with you guys. What do you want? So let me give you an example. I want to have 2 million in my bank account or in my Havila account in the next 15 years. And I'm starting with 10K. 2 mil, 15 year, 10K. What we can do is we can come up with a plan to get there. So I'm actually working on some different software and some different, I don't even know what you'd want to call it, but it'll help you do this, okay? You can plug in what it is you want. What is normally, it's not always money. So maybe it is retiring your spouse. Maybe it is spending more time with your family. Maybe it is, I want a house on a lake or a cabin in the woods or whatever. Guess what? There's gonna be a dollar amount attached to that. Retiring your wife has a dollar amount attached to it. Spending more time with your kids has a dollar amount attached to it. This is why this is a dollar amount. When do you want to accomplish it? If you say now, this better be pretty high. Realistically, what time frame do you want to accomplish this? I'm 35 years old myself. I'm 35. I've got almost a 3-year-old and a newborn coming in September. So I'm starting to look more and more at time. What capital? Let's say that you have zero or little capital. Okay, this is going to change the plan. It's going to change it. Based on this plan, what we can do is come up with a mix on this mid, high, low and help you come up with a little bit of a game plan. With a game plan, you're much more likely to succeed. Most people, they have this figured out. If I just post it in the chat really quick. What do you want? I'll tell you mine, but tell me guys in the chat what you want. What I want, it's not more tattoos, by the way. Well, I shouldn't say that. What I want is I want 10 to 20 acres. I want a piece of land, maybe here in Ohio. I want the barn. I want the outbuildings. I want all of that. See, a farm. A lot of people have that. A lot of people know that. I want it to be paid off and all of my debt erased, which I'm working on. I want to have my hot rods. I already have them, but you guys can see the picture. And I want my investments to cover everything, say roughly $50,000 a month. And I want $1 million in the bank. So all of my debt gone, $50,000 a month, $1 million in the bank, and my piece of land on my farm. Most people don't have a problem with this. Everyone has a goal. Everyone has a dream. Everyone has something that they want to accomplish. Most people have not determined time frame. House on a lake, 20 acres debt free. I love it. Most people are very stingy here. And I want $1 million in the bank and $50,000 a month and a farm on 10 to 20 acres with barns and hot rods. And I'm willing to invest $200. By the way, I want it now. What is wrong with you? What planet are you living on? You've got to figure this part out. And if this is a very low number, or even if it's zero, you better be working pretty hard, my friend. You are loved, Thomas. I miss you, dude. For a lot of people, let's just say that this is a low number. For a lot of people, what I suggest is, if we're talking real estate, I would suggest you get really good at wholesaling very quickly and start to generate $10 to $40, $50,000 a month. And then you can get really nailed down here. And then we can come up with a plan. But we can't really come up with a plan without this element. So I'm going to start working on this and we're going to start getting clarity on what this looks like. And then we can figure out the mix of what we need to do. This was me. This is 10 years ago. This was me. What I did is I borrowed $2,500 from my girlfriend. I don't know, gentlemen, doesn't make you feel very much like a man, does it? Borrowed it from my girlfriend. She had a better job than me. So I had zero. Yeah, not zero, but close to zero. I borrowed this from my girlfriend. I married her, by the way. She believes in you enough to give you $2,500 when you're dating. She's a good one. I hired a real estate coach. I made $500,000. I then, after I'd made $500,000, I dove into buy and hold. I was able to build a multi-million-dollar portfolio After that, I started from these monies, started investing, being an actual investor. Wholesaling does not make you an investor. I don't even think owning a single family house or a rental portfolio necessarily makes you an investor. I started getting really serious about investing my capital. But this was me, and I had to borrow to start this process. So I've been there, guys. As always, the recording of this will be available here shortly. If you guys want to go back through it, it's good to see everybody. Hopefully, I'll see a bunch of you guys at the mastermind coming up. Still some tickets available. We've got some great speakers coming. It's going to be, I'm at the HQ, but it's going to be at our corporate headquarters here in Canton, Ohio. There is a VIP day. There is a general admission, 2 days. It's going to be great. Ken says he'll be there. Nice, nice. I'm not talking about the fake money experience, Ken. I'm talking about boardroom. Looks like there's a couple people typing. I'll just make sure there's no more questions, then I'll let you guys go. Thank you, Richmond. Good to see you, man. Glad you're here. Truly am. Feel free to shoot me a message if you want, man. All right, guys. You are loved. I appreciate you. Keep on interacting. Keep on helping each other. Keep on growing. And I will be back first thing tomorrow morning with another training. See you guys soon.